African Charter on Human Rights and People's Rights. Ghana has a strong constitution that provides for rights. Ghana has many institutions that seem to be manned with people that mean well, you know, and really seem to be very genuinely in bringing about change. So the foundation is already there. So in that respect, I would say that is commendable. Yet, as the statement has said, there's a significant gap between law and policy on the one hand and the implementation on the other hand. That is a major gap that is very concerning. And the second is that there's very limited data about the rights holders that we are concerned about. And if we remember that these are groups that have been traditionally and historically marginalized across Africa, not just Ghana, then our goal is to put the spotlight on this group, get people to think about this group. It's about the market woman selling vegetables because she produces in her farm, she eats some at home, she brings it to the market. But think about that woman that is in a very rural area somewhere in Ghana. Think about how she grows vegetables. She wakes up one day, there's Galamsey, she goes to the river where she used to get water is now all brown. Where does she get water? There's no borehole. There's no potable water. Where does she get water for her farm? Where does she get water to drink? Where does she get water to cook? Where does she even get water for her bath? Who does she talk to? Who will hear her cry? And she grows the vegetable with contaminated Galamsey water. Who eats that? How does she bring it to market? There's no cold storage. She grows tomatoes. It's too much during the tomato harvest season. And within 2 or 3 days, it goes bad because there's no storage facility that deep down in her area. These are things that one needs to start thinking. And so it's not just about the law, it's about thinking about the actual human being. So she has to buy water. She buys water. How much water will she buy? Because the water in the river is now polluted. So she brings out her produce, it's about to spoil. The middleman can say, maybe it's a tomato, a basket that is worth 5,000 Ghana cedis? Yeah. But the middleman comes and says, can you give it to me for 5? It's about to spoil. What does she do? She says, okay, that is that. How does she continue like this day in, day out? Who will hear her cry? That is the question. So again, our meeting here is for us to get people to start thinking about that woman, that market woman, that cocoa producer. And oftentimes we focus just on cocoa, but there are people that are smaller, there are other things people are producing, right? There are vegetables, there are cowpeas, there are other things. Thank you very much. A statement on the conclusion of our country visit to deliver a message on what we have found in Ghana in relation to rights of farmers, artisanal fishers, and pastoralists. We have been here for 10 days, and so that is why we're here to give a final statement before we leave. It wasn't really what our observation has been that Ghana has many good laws, many good policies that can really be beneficial to farmers and fisher folks and pastoralists. Ghana has ratified many human rights treaties. Ghana has a constitution that has a strong Bill of Rights. Ghana has many policies, Feed Ghana program, all kinds of laws that are really good. What we have found is that there's a major gap between the law and policy and the implementation on the ground. To be honest with you, I was really shocked by the Galamsey, which is illegal mining, gold mining. And so we went to the Cheli area, and what I saw and what my team saw was very shocking. We saw many illegal mining sites abandoned, and we saw polluted rivers. And across the region that we visited, the biggest complaint of the farmers was Galamsey. They say that they're losing their land, farmland to Galamsey. They're saying the waters are polluted, and because the waters are polluted, they cannot use it for their farmland. They cannot drink it. They cannot use it to wash. And so it has become a problem. One of the biggest demands the farmers were asking was potable water and borehole. That was really a big surprise. And we walked to two of the rivers, and it really was a sorry sight. And one of the questions I've been asking is, in areas where the water is polluted, is there anything being done right now to deliver potable water to the farmers? Because the farmers say that they're having to spend money to buy the water. And not only to spend money to buy water, they're having to carry the water all the way to their farm. And that is not easy if you're an elderly farmer. And many of the farmers are elderly, and that's a big challenge. It's just a greater awareness that farmers have rights. Farmers are people. Fisher folks, pastoralists, they all have rights that are guaranteed by international law, guaranteed by regional law like the African Charter on Human Rights and People's Rights, guaranteed by Ghanaian law. What I would like people to know is that these rights need to be implemented. I need people to understand that African farmers, Ghanaian farmers, are the backbone of our economy, and they deserve full protection and respect. And I need people to understand that there's a farm crisis growing, not just in Ghana, but across Africa. The fact that farmers are not producing enough to sustain themselves and their families, and many of the young people are no longer interested in farming. And so in the future, the question is, who will be growing the food that is eaten in this country? Will Ghana be depending completely on food imports? And what happens when these young people all run away from the rural area? That's a big question to think about. That we are all in this together. Nothing happens without partnership, right? Nothing happens without cooperation. Everybody must put their hand and work together. The traditional rulers have a big role to play in this. The farmers themselves need to also have a role to play. The journalists, the government officials, everybody has a role to play. So let's start working. My final words also is that Ghana, as I said before, has many good things working, and Ghana can lead the fight for farmers and fisher folks and pastoralists